we are going to get started on the new sugar maple skirt from Patterns for Pirates. You need 3 pattern pieces for this particular pattern. A top yoke, and you'll need 2 pieces cut out on the fold. You'll need a waistband, and you'll just need one of those cut on the fold, and then you will need a drop yoke piece. This one, it's a size 7. I'm sewing for my niece. I'm the only skirt wearer in my family, and it's just easier to fit youth sizes in a video format. So she's getting a new skirt. Lucky girl. This is, like I said, it's the youth size 7. This is the drop yoke, and I'm cutting the knee length. But luckily, this entire construction of the skirt is all the same, no matter if you're picking mini, knee, T, or maxi, and in any size, adult or youth. Let's get moving. All right, we're going to start with the top yoke part, and you'll just want to lay one out with the right side facing up, and you're going to place the other top yoke right on top, aligning these outer edges right here, and we're going to be stitching with a 1/2 inch seam allowance on both sides. All right, now we are going to grab our drop yoke pieces. Again, this is the knee in a size 7, but the construction is the exact same for all sizes. So I'm gonna take my drop yoke, just one piece here, and lay it out with the right side facing up. And just like we did with the top yoke, we're gonna take the other piece and lay it right on top, aligning the side edges right here, right sides facing each other, and we're going to be sewing a 1/2 inch seam allowance here and a 1/2 inch seam allowance here to create our circle. Okay, both the top yoke and the drop yoke are sewn together to each other. And we've got our 1/2 inch seam allowance. So the easiest way I can explain this next step is to turn the top yoke right side out. And then we are going to take the drop yoke and keep it inside out. And we're going to be aligning these pieces, right? This seam. This top seam on the drop yoke and the bottom seam on the top yoke. Well, in order to get them to be right sides together when we sew them, we're going to flip this piece, and we're going to stuff the top yoke into the drop yoke. I feel like I'm just repeating a lot of the same words. Top yoke, drop yoke. You'll get it. So we're going to grab some pins or clips. I like to use clips because I don't sew over them on accident. And we want to align the side seams on the top and drop yokes to one another. Again, right sides together. I like to align my side seams first, and then I clip along the rest of the edge. Just with curves, you kind of end up having to ease everything together. So it's just easier to start at a main point and then kind of get them going. These seams are 1-to-1, but again, because they're curved, sometimes it takes a little finessing to get them all aligned to one another. And we're just gonna clip away. All right, so we are clipped, and here I'll show you. We've got the top yoke inside here, and then this is the drop yoke surrounding it, and we are going to sew around this entire outer edge. So all around this whole circle at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now that we have our skirt mostly sewn together, I mean, we're almost at the end, y'all. It's so fast and easy to make this skirt. So we are going to be attaching the waistband, and grab your waistband piece. It's just a long rectangle. And first we are going to be folding it with the short sides meeting each other. So just fold it in half, right sides together. Here's the fold, and here are the raw edges. Now you can stitch this part right now if you want to. In the instructions, that's how we do it. And then we fold at the end. I like to fold it in half this way. And then I fold it in half again, with the long edges meeting each other. And here's our fold still, right? So we've got a double fold, and here's a fold here, fold here. I like to sew along this edge, so I only have one seam. It actually makes it a little less bulky, and I'll show you how when we flip it, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to just manage in the end, in the long run anyway. So 1/2 inch seam allowance here, or if you want to do it more of a traditional way, just 1/2 inch seam allowance there, and then we'll flip it later. All right, see, I've sewn just this one line, and we've got all of our folded pieces here. So all you do is flip it right side out, and it just creates this beautiful little waistband with a lot less fiddling, I think. You can do it the other way if you'd like. It's really up to you. That's the whole point of sewing, right? You just kind of get into your own flow, figure out what works best for you. So here's our waistband. And now we're gonna find all the quarter points on this waistband so we can attach it to the waist. And so we're gonna use this seam as one of our quarter points. So that one's pretty easy to find. And with it folded, we're gonna mark the other quarter point, which is the front middle on the other side here. And we're gonna open it up, and we're gonna match those points that we just found to each other to find the exact other 2 quarter points. So you add some clips there, and a clip there, and we have 4 points marked very easily to use, to see, and to add to our skirt. So we're gonna do something very similar. So we've got our skirt here, and we've already got 2 quarter points marked, right, with our side seams. And we can go ahead and add clips there if you want. If not, they're pretty well marked. We're gonna do it though. And then we are going to open the waist up, match those quarter points that we just marked against each other, and fold in half again so we can find the quarter points, and then I guess the front and the back middle on our skirt. So the waistband is slightly smaller than the skirt opening. You can just tell by it laying right here. This is probably, people tend to fear neckbands and waistbands a little more than anything. Honestly, once you get it down, especially if you mark these quarter points, some people even mark 8ths, it's such a breeze. So we're gonna just take our waistband, and we're gonna find the middle front, which is this one right here. We're gonna match it to the middle front clip that we have on our skirt. Get rid of one clip, reclip them all together, and there, that's already done, right? And we're gonna do the same with the back. And then we are going to do the same with the 2 sides. And there we go. So we have the raw edges are all matching each other. The waistband, again, is slightly smaller than the waist opening. And we're gonna take it to our machine. And as I like to have the band on the bottom, but some people, I believe, say the other way. I think because I'm left-handed, my brain just works differently than right-handed people. But I like to have the bands flat against my feed dogs. And so you just stick it in and you pull. Don't pull on the skirt. Don't stretch the waist opening. We're just going to be pulling ever so slightly on that waistband to get it to lay flat. And so everything is the exact same measurement when we're doing that. And then once you let go, it will be sewn perfectly. So here we go. We got all this sewing done. And then you just literally need to flip the band up. And we are darn near complete here. So the last thing that we need to do is just hem the circle skirt. And I know that I'm going to get some angry messages about how big circles are when you go to hem. I hope I don't get angry messages. A circle skirt is the worst hemming you probably have to do because it's so big, and especially on that maxi length, whew, it's a lot. But it is not the end of the world. We can do this together. We have created a 1/2 inch seam allowance for the bottom of this skirt. And if you have a easy hem, I guess mine doesn't have a curved edge for that, but we're just going to be going around and hemming at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. My hem tape has gone missing, so I can't show you how I apply hem tape right now. I'm going to quick iron this all the way around, and then I'm going to run it through my cover stitch, and we are going to get the whole bottom hemmed at just 1/2 inch seam allowance. And we are all hemmed. I'm very excited. I think these skirts are so stinking adorable, and they've got the best, they've got a good twirl factor to them, but they also have this really good swish factor. So it's got a lot of movement, and it's super fun to wear. I'm very excited to see what everyone thinks and what everyone makes. And I'm ready to ship this off to my niece. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, just let us know, and happy sewing.